If you're getting ready to leave home, you're going to want to know how to cook. One of the skills you're going to use the rest of your life. A fun way to learn how to do that is to start by baking something you like. Today we're going to bake some white chunk macadamia nut cookies because I like those. I'm going to take you with me and we'll get started right now. I'm using the recipe that came on this bar of white chocolate. The recipe's right there. Most of the things set out here and I'm ready to go. Butter you're supposed to put out and have it soften, and I didn't set that out early enough to soften, so I'm gonna cheat and use the microwave. In the meantime, we can put the other things in, which we'll start with the flour, teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda, not to be confused with baking powder. They do different things. It's kind of like a substitute for yeast, or when you bake stuff, baking powder helps it raise. Baking soda, I don't know what it does, but I'm sure one of you is going to put it in the comments. A teaspoon of plain salt. Now I'm using salted butter and it calls for unsalted butter. So I'm going to go a little bit less than a full teaspoon. I'm just measuring a little bit less than that. I'm just going to use a wire whisk. You're always going to hear me tell you that it's better to clean as you go, and that's what I'm going to do. So as soon as I've used something, I'm going to put it away. It is now softened. It's mostly melted. The white sugar, 3/4 cup. Brown sugar, the recipe says pack it down. You'll notice I keep this in a separate bag because once you open brown sugar, it tends to dry out and clump. This calls for 3/4 cup of brown sugar packed, and the end of this one. If you've never cooked anything before, put in the comments what it is you'd like to learn how to make to start with. All right, so now I've got this new bag of brown sugar. I want to get a heaping 3/4 cup and then press it down and then keep pressing it down. About 3/4 cup brown sugar clumped in there. That's not much extra. I use the plate to catch the extra spillover. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract to avoid sticky lids if you wipe that off after. Since I grew up without a dad in the home, I watched my mom maybe a lot closer than I would have otherwise. She would come home from work and start cooking. That's where I learned a lot of this stuff. Whether you have that or not, you can still learn it, whether it's from me, other YouTube channels, whatever, but you can learn how to cook. I'm going to start on a low speed because I don't want to splatter it all over. As you start to have a creamy consistency to it, then I'll speed it up a little bit more. That looks creamy. 1 egg at a time. It calls for 2. As you can see, I'm mixing it by hand first. When I turn it off, I still hold the blades down until they quit spinning as much, because if you pull it up and then turn it off, it'll fling batter all around the edges. Turn the oven on to 350. Back to egg number 2. Mix it in. A nice way to learn how to cook is to get a couple of meals that you're comfortable with making, whether it's baking, whether it's cooking on the stove, whether it's a casserole or something you're going to cook in the oven or on the grill. Get 3, 4, 5 things that you're good at cooking. After you do that, you're going to get used to reading recipes, and then you can start cooking whatever. Once you know the language and you've got a recipe and the ingredients, then you get comfortable cooking. This bar came just like a big chocolate bar. I'm just breaking it up in pieces like this. I've got a lot of fond memories of helping my mom in the kitchen or even fixing dinner as I got older on my own, because that's a skill that I learned as I was growing up. This is the flour, baking soda, and salt. We'll add a little bit of that into here and start mixing it in. And I'm going to do the same thing so I don't fling powder all around to start with. Okay, now low setting. And I'm just looking to see that I've got a good mix of all of the dry in there. We'll add a little bit more. Scrape off the batter. White chunks, macadamia nuts. This is feeling like a very soft dough. My rule of thumb is always follow the recipe the first time you make it, and then if you decide you want things differently, you can adjust them after. Right now we're just trying to get the nuts and the chunks distributed evenly. We'll start with that. You want to try to be even on the amounts that you put on these so that it's consistent. I started this YouTube channel for young men growing up without a dad, because that's how I grew up. There's some unique challenges that you face, especially at the time of life when you're entering adulthood. And most of the time, It's stuff that you don't feel comfortable talking to other people about, like how scared you really are about whether you're going to be able to make it as an adult or not. I want you guys to know from someone that has been through that, you can do it. You can. I've got a lot of confidence that you will succeed, far beyond your wildest dreams. But you are going to be a little scared when you step out on your own at first, and you're going to make some mistakes. That just happens. So you just learn from those mistakes and move on. All right, let's get this first one in. I think it said 8 to 10 minutes. I will double check that. The other thing that is a stepdad rule for cooking is always clean up as you go. If you want to know all the details about washing dishes, guess what? I made a video on it. You can check that one out. If you're going to learn to succeed as an adult, you're going to have to learn to discipline yourself. And it's not as hard as you think. A lot of it is just a change of perspective. Every day we were assigned different chores, and I used to hate to be on washing the dishes. As an adult, I enjoy having a clean kitchen more than I dislike washing the dishes. Once you learn to change your perspective so that you're looking forward to the result more than you dislike the effort, that's a big sign that you're growing in maturity. There's 1 minute left. They have spread out. I think I'm going to do this batch for 9 minutes. Ooh, the bottom looks nice and golden brown. That's good. It's very good. Here's your action item. Pick the kind of cookie that you want to bake it, and then tell me how it goes in the comments. Always remember, you can figure out how to succeed as an adult, and you do have a dad that cares about you. And I'll see you on the next video.